My girlfriend sneered in front of everyone. You work a 9 to 5. You can't afford my lifestyle. I simply replied, you're absolutely right. And what happened next? She never even imagined I would turn our world upside down. The room went silent. 20 pairs of eyes turned toward me, waiting for me to crumble. But I didn't. I smiled, nodded, and watched as the foundation of everything she thought she knew began to crack. I'm Ethan, 24, and until a week ago, I thought my life with Isabella was exactly how it should be. We'd been together for 3 years, living in a modest downtown apartment that I paid for while she focused on her brand, an Instagram lifestyle account with 50K followers. I worked as a junior analyst at a tech firm, pulling in a decent salary, but nothing flashy. She knew that. She'd always known that. Then it happened. We were at her friend Anastasia's rooftop party in the Marina District, the kind of event where people casually mention their second homes and drink champagne that costs more than my weekly groceries. Isabella had been acting distant all evening, laughing too loud with a group of guys in designer suits. When I approached with her drink, she turned to me with this look I'd never seen before, contempt mixed with performance. Babe, Sebastian was just telling us about his new Porsche Taycan. How's your Honda Civic treating you? It gets me where I need to go, I replied calmly. See, this is what I mean, she said, turning to her audience. You work a 9 to 5. You can't afford my lifestyle. I need someone who can actually keep up. I froze for a moment, unsure whether to explode or stay calm. Every instinct screamed at me to defend myself, to list everything I'd done for her, every rent payment, every dinner, every emergency I'd covered. But instead, I set down her drink and said, you're absolutely right. Her smirk faltered. Just for a second. I'm glad we finally agree on something. I continued. Enjoy the party. I left. Didn't look back. Didn't make a scene. Just walked out of that rooftop and down 23 flights of stairs because I couldn't stand the thought of sharing an elevator with any of them. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and a string of texts that oscillated between apologetic and accusatory. But I kept watching, paying attention to small details, daily routines, and messages. Every day brought new hints, and each one made my stomach twist. Update 1. 3 days after the party, I noticed something odd. Isabella had always been secretive about her phone, but now she was leaving it face down everywhere, even in the shower. One evening, while she was blow-drying her hair, I saw a notification preview. Can't wait for Thursday face blowing a kiss from someone saved as fitness trainer. I knew her fitness trainer. His name was Harold. He was 63 and married to a woman named Margaret. Tuesday, 6:47 p.m. Isabella leaves apartment in black dress. Tells me she's having dinner with her college friend Charlotte. Tuesday, 7:15 p.m. I check our shared location. She'd insisted on it months ago for safety. She's at Catch, an upscale seafood restaurant downtown. Tuesday, 7:22 p.m. I call Charlotte. She picks up immediately, confused. Dinner? No, I'm in Portland visiting my mom. What? My hands started shaking. I thanked Charlotte, hung up, and sat in our dark living room for 45 minutes. Just thinking. When Isabella came home at 10:30 p.m., she was humming, smelling like expensive cologne that definitely wasn't mine. How was Charlotte? I asked from the couch. Oh, it was good. Same old Charlotte, you know. She kicked off her heels. I'm exhausted. I'm sure you are. She paused, searching my face for something, then disappeared into the bedroom. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every small moment from the past few months suddenly made sense. The urgent meetings with her manager, who I'd never met, the new lingerie I'd never seen her wear around me, the way she'd started saying, we less, and I more. Update 2. By Friday, I'd made my decision. I called my older brother Alexander, who works in private wealth management. We met for coffee. I need to know what my options are, I told him. The trust fund. Alexander leaned back, studying me. You've never wanted to touch it. I know, but things have changed. How much of it are we talking about? I'd spent 3 years hiding the fact that my grandfather had left me a substantial trust fund, $2.3 million, to be exact. It had sat untouched since my 21st birthday because I'd wanted to prove I could make it on my own, that I wasn't just another trust fund kid coasting through life. Isabella had no idea. No one did, except my family. Alexander pulled out his phone and started making calls. By Tuesday, everything was in motion. Meanwhile, Isabella's behavior escalated. She'd started coming home later, sometimes not at all. Her excuses became lazier. Crashed at Anastasia's, phone died. You wouldn't understand. On Wednesday evening, I found a receipt in her purse. I wasn't snooping. It fell out when she asked me to grab her chapstick. Hotel Monaco. Room service for two. Champagne and oysters. $847. My chest felt tight, but my mind was crystal clear. Ethan, we need to talk, she said that night, sitting on the edge of our bed. I'm listening. I think we're in different places in our lives. You're a great guy, but I work a 9 to 5 and can't afford your lifestyle. She winced. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. And you were right. She looked confused, maybe even a little guilty. So, you agree we should take a break? I agree that you deserve someone who can give you everything you want, I said evenly. This apartment lease is in my name. I'll need you out by the end of the month. Her face went white. What? Ethan, I can't just. Where am I supposed to go? I'm sure Sebastian with the Porsche has some ideas. Update 3. The confrontation came exactly 2 weeks later. Isabella had been staying with Anastasia, but she'd texted asking to meet for closure. We agreed to meet at the rooftop bar where it all started, poetic, in a way. I arrived first, wearing a Tom Ford suit I'd had tailored that week. When Isabella walked in, she did a double take. You look different, she said, sitting across from me. New job, I replied. New chapter. It wasn't technically a lie. I'd given notice at my tech firm and was planning to start my own consulting company using the trust fund as capital. Alexander was helping me navigate the setup. Listen, Ethan, I've been thinking a lot about us. She reached for my hand. I didn't pull away, just watched her. I made a mistake. I was confused and scared, and I think I was just sleeping with someone else. She pulled her hand back as if I'd burned her. It wasn't like that. Isabella, I know about Sebastian. And about the hotel. And about the fact that you've been telling people we broke up 3 months ago. Her eyes filled with tears. Real or performed, I couldn't tell anymore. Who told you that? Does it matter? The bartender arrived with 2 glasses of wine. I'd ordered her usual, Sancerre, the expensive bottle. She looked at it, then at me. Why are you being so nice? She whispered. Because you taught me something valuable, I said, raising my glass. You taught me that I was living small, trying to prove something that didn't need proving. You taught me that the right person will value you for who you are, not what you provide. And most importantly, you taught me exactly who you are. She started crying then, mascara running down her cheeks. I'm so sorry. I was awful to you. Can we try again? I'll be better. I promise. I took a sip of wine and set down the glass. Isabella, 3 years ago, you told me you loved me because I was real, because I wasn't like the other guys who flashed money around. You said you wanted someone genuine. I believed you. I built a life around that belief. I meant it. No, you didn't. Or maybe you did then, but you don't now. And that's okay. People change. But I'm not going to be your backup plan when your other options don't work out. I stood up, dropped $300 bills on the table, enough to cover the wine and tip generously, and walked away. Behind me, I heard her calling my name, but I didn't turn around. Final update. It's been 4 months. Isabella tried reaching out for about 6 weeks. Texts, calls, even showing up at my brother's office once. Eventually, she stopped. Through mutual acquaintances, I heard she moved to LA with some guy she met through her Instagram. They broke up after 2 months. Anastasia actually reached out to apologize, which surprised me. She admitted she'd known about Sebastian and felt guilty for enabling the whole thing. We got coffee once. She's not a bad person, just someone who got swept up in Isabella's orbit. Sebastian found out he was married the whole time. His wife discovered everything and took him for everything he had in the divorce. Apparently, Isabella wasn't his first affair, just the messiest. As for me, I'm doing better than I could have imagined. My consulting firm launched 6 weeks ago, specializing in tech strategy for mid-market companies. I'm already profitable, working with clients I actually like, setting my own hours. I moved to a penthouse in Russian Hill with a view of the bay. I adopted a dog, a rescue mutt named Winston who has absolutely no opinions about my income bracket. I started dating again last month. Nothing serious, just meeting people, rediscovering what it feels like to be genuinely valued. There's someone I've been seeing, Olivia, a marine biologist who gets excited about tide pools and couldn't care less about Instagram. We went hiking last weekend, and she spent 20 minutes photographing a banana slug. It was perfect. Edit 1. Last week, I ran into Isabella's mother at Trader Joe's. She gave me this sad, knowing look and apologized for her daughter's behavior. I told her there was nothing to apologize for, that everything had worked out exactly as it should. She teared up and hugged me, whispering, "Thank you for being kind to her anyway." I realized then that I wasn't angry anymore. Not at Isabella, not at Sebastian, not at anyone. They were all just people making choices, living with consequences, trying to figure out what actually matters. Edit 2. Anastasia invited me to another rooftop party last month. Different venue, different crowd. I almost didn't go, but something made me say yes. When I walked in, wearing jeans and a casual button-down, I felt completely at ease. No performance, no proving anything. Just me, showing up as myself. Someone asked what I did for work. I told them. They asked about my company. We had a genuine, interesting conversation about business strategy and market trends. No one asked about my car or my watch or my square footage. On my way out, I passed the same spot where Isabella had humiliated me all those months ago. I stood there for a moment, feeling nothing but gratitude. That moment had freed me from pretending, from trying to be enough for someone who would never be satisfied, from living small to make someone else feel big. Edit 3. Sometimes I wonder if Isabella ever thinks about that night. If she replays her words in her mind, wishes she could take them back. But mostly, I don't think about her at all. I think about Winston's ridiculous sleeping positions. I think about Olivia's laugh. I think about the business proposal I'm pitching next week and the hiking trip we're planning for next month. I think about my life, the one I'm building on my own terms, with people who see me clearly and choose me anyway. That's the real victory. Not the money, not the revenge, not even proving her wrong. Just being happy. Genuinely, quietly, authentically happy. And it turns out, I could afford that lifestyle all along.